There are villains who plan, villains who destroy, and villains who dine. But in the Addams Family universe, none have blended science and cannibalism quite like Isaac Knight, better known by his ghastly nickname, Slurp. Once a promising researcher turned walking corpse, Isaac didn't just flirt with death, he married it, dissected it, and served it piece by piece. His story begins as a tragic experiment gone wrong, and ends as a blood-soaked record of horror that could make even Uncle Fester lose his appetite. Today, we dive into every confirmed and rumored victim of Isaac Knight, from his very first snack to his final, fatal encounter with Thing. So dim the lights, brace your stomach, and let's begin this forensic feast. Every killer has a beginning, a test run, a first slip into darkness. For Isaac Knight, that beginning was not a man, but a mouse. During an early experiment gone horribly wrong, Isaac accidentally killed his test subject, a small, unnamed lab rodent whose brain became the first casualty of his grisly curiosity. On paper, it was scientific error. In reality, it was foreshadowing. The moment when Isaac's fascination with life and death began to blur beyond redemption. It's almost poetic, in a morbid way. The smallest creature in his lab became the spark for a career of consuming the very thing he once studied, the brain. The fan archives list it simply. Mouse, accidentally killed by Isaac Knight, or Slurp, due to an experiment gone wrong. A tiny death, but a monumental beginning. The next name on Isaac's growing list is Gabe Packard, a science proctor at Nevermore Academy. Gabe was smart, cautious, and deeply curious. 3 traits that, unfortunately, attract mad scientists like moths to a flame. When Gabe questioned Isaac's unorthodox experiments, the conversation turned from academic debate to culinary exploration. In the shadows of the lab, Isaac decided to sample the human mind firsthand. The record states, Gabe Packard, brain eaten by Isaac Knight, Slurp. No witnesses, no mercy, only silence and a chair tipped backward. It was the first time Isaac had tasted human intelligence, literally, and judging by the way he continued, he must have found it delicious. Enter Ron Kruger, a moody Nevermore student with a penchant for black eyeliner and bad decisions. He was the kind of student who believed the world didn't understand him, and then met someone who truly didn't care to. Ron's encounter with Isaac was short-lived and terminal. One wrong hallway, one chilling grin, and one less brain in the student registry. The documentation reads, Ron Kruger, brain eaten by Isaac Knight, Slurp. It's a cruel irony. The goth kid out-gothed by a zombie scientist. Ron's last poem probably rhymed with doom, and for once, it wasn't exaggeration. If the earlier murders were appetizers, Chapter 4 is Isaac's full-course meal. In a single bloody night, he racks up 4 victims, a massacre that cements his legacy as Nevermore's most terrifying experiment gone rogue. Victim 1, an unnamed security guard who likely thought the worst part of his shift would be boredom. Instead, his head became the first dish of the evening. Victim 2, Wilbur, a young lab assistant. The poor man probably thought he was about to make a scientific breakthrough. Instead, he became one. Victim 3, Dr. Rachel Fairburn, Isaac's superior. Brilliant, ethical, and doomed. Her intellect, as the records suggest, was consumed in more ways than one. Victim 4, Augustus Gus Stonehurst, father of the notorious villainous Judy Stonehurst. Gus's family name once stood for prestige and philanthropy. After Isaac was done, it stood for protein. The list is cold, clinical, and horrifying. 4 victims, brains eaten by Isaac Knight, Slurp. It was the night Isaac stopped being human and fully embraced what he'd become. Not just a scientist studying monsters, but one creating them, beginning with himself. Chapter 5 is quieter, but no less deadly. Here, Isaac's killings grow methodical, almost routine. The work of a man who's found comfort in chaos. The first victim, Jesse Quinn, a mercenary employed by Judy Stonehurst. He came to silence Isaac. Instead, Isaac silenced him, permanently. His death, noted as off-screen, is both implied and inevitable. Jesse Quinn, brain eaten by Isaac Knight, Slurp. Then there's the unnamed man, another anonymous casualty in Isaac's feeding frenzy. No background, no dialogue, no last words, just another brain added to the buffet. It's here the pattern becomes clear. Isaac kills not for necessity, but for ideology. Each brain to him is a data point, a sample in his grand experiment to perfect life after death. He doesn't see murder, he sees research, and that's precisely what makes him terrifying. If Isaac's earlier killings were about power, this chapter is about betrayal. First on the chopping block, Judy Stonehurst, his boss, accomplice, and possible love interest. When she outlived her usefulness, Isaac proved his loyalty. To no one. Her fate, brain eaten by Isaac Knight, slurp, body later shown. It's a macabre love story told in one bite. Then comes Professor Orloff, a brilliant investigator and one of the few who might have stopped Isaac. He never got the chance. His corpse was discovered mutilated, his skull partially caved in. Off-screen, body shown, as the fan log puts it. In the end, Isaac kills the two people who knew him best, the woman who made him and the man who might have understood him. It's not just cannibalism, it's poetic revenge. Brains devoured as symbols of control. By chapter 7, Isaac's rampage is slowing. He's weaker, more desperate, almost feral. But even then, hunger wins. The last name before his downfall is that of an unnamed male veterinarian, an innocent caught in the orbit of monstrosity. The record reads, unnamed male veterinarian, brain eaten by Isaac Knight, slurp. It's the act of a predator cornered, consuming out of compulsion, not need. Perhaps Isaac saw a kindred spirit in the man who healed animals. Perhaps not. In the end, it didn't matter. Another skull cracked, another victim forgotten. By this point, even the fans had stopped counting, but Isaac hadn't. And then, the inevitable reversal. After 12 victims, 11 humans, and one unfortunate mouse, Isaac finally finds himself at the end of his own experiment. His enemy isn't a soldier or a scientist, but a severed hand with a grudge. Thing. In the explosive finale, Isaac's lab collapses under Morticia's orchestrated destruction. As flames swallow his machines, Thing leaps from the debris, claws into Isaac's chest, and rips out his mechanical heart. The monster who stole minds finally loses his own. No brain left to harvest, no one left to fear him, just silence, the hiss of fire, and a twitching hand crawling away from the wreckage. Isaac Knight's kill streak ends not with a scream, but with poetic irony. The eater becomes the eaten. According to the meticulous archives of listofdeaths.fandom.com, Isaac Knight, alias Slurp, stands at 12 confirmed kills. 1 lab mouse, 11 human victims. Countless near misses. That makes him the 6th deadliest character in the Wednesday canon, just below Tyler Galpin and Joseph Crackstone, but leagues above most ordinary mortals. Isaac's legacy isn't just in his kill count, it's in what he represents. He's the scientific mirror of the Addams family's philosophy. Where they romanticize death, he rationalizes it. Where they flirt with morbidity, he industrializes it. To the Addamses, death is art. To Isaac, it's procedure. And that's the real horror. Not the gore, not the brains, but the coldness behind them. He isn't a creature of rage or madness. He's curiosity without conscience, the kind of evil that doesn't snarl. It studies. So there you have it. 12 victims, 1 failed genius, and a cautionary tale for anyone tempted to mix necromancy with neuroscience. Isaac Knight didn't just lose his humanity, he dissected it, analyzed it, and filed it under obsolete. In a world where the Addams family finds humor in horror, Isaac reminds us what happens when horror forgets to laugh. He's the cautionary echo in the Addams mansion, proof that some monsters aren't born, they're built. If you've survived this autopsy of evil, you deserve a medal, or at least a like. Subscribe for more dark dissections from the Addams universe, and tell us in the comments, which of Isaac's kills chilled you the most? The scientist, the lover, or the mouse that started it all? And remember, curiosity didn't just kill the cat, it created Isaac Knight. Snap, snap.